Alright, you want to level up your coding skills? Here's a place you can do it. It's called Exercism. Exercism. It's an online learning platform. It's free to use, and they've got a variety of different tracks that you can use to learn different languages. I'm a JavaScript guy, but I'm using it to learn Go. Go is actually my first back-end language that I'm picking up. Actually, that's a slight lie. I learned a little bit of PHP back in the day. I've dabbled with C, but it's the first time I'm seriously trying to do it. Ah, you fucker. What are we going to do today? We're going to look at the platform. We're going to try and do one or two of the lessons. We're going to see how easy it is for me, an experienced JavaScript developer, and we're going to think about how difficult it would be if I was a straight up beginner to learn a programming language on Exercism. Alright, so once we've logged in, this is the page we're greeted with. Here's my Go track. And you can see I've progressed through a little bit of it already. And we're going to go for the conditional if section. And right now I'm just going to have a quick read through, because even though I am familiar with if statements from my JavaScript days, things might be a bit different in the Go world. No console log, you got to do print line, which is fine with me. Alright, once we've read this page, we head over to the challenge. This challenge is pretty cool. You can either start it in the editor or you can do it locally. It just downloads it, like cloning a repo as though you're on GitHub. You can start it up. I've gone for that option. I think that's the advanced option. If you've never programmed before, I'd go for the online editor. It'd be probably a bit easier. Right, so once I've copied and used their work locally command, you can see it's copied it into a folder on my desktop called Exercism. So I'm just going to CD into that and then CD into the Go. And then we're going to open VS Code. So I've opened it, just arrange that. It's actually this isn't the right exercise. So I'll try that again, code, and then my actual location, and there we go, got it open. So I'm just going to put that on a second desktop, just so it's easy for me to navigate between. And then I guess it's time for us to read the instructions. One thing I do notice is a bit different from JavaScript is like equals is just a double, whereas in JavaScript really you want to use the triples. The rest of it seems quite similar. We seem like we're in familiar territory. Looking good. So onto the instructions. I do find myself struggling to get through the instructions sometimes because I'm trying to get ahead of myself, if that makes sense. Like, I'm eager to get to the end, so I don't want to read the body of the actual text. We've read that. Let's head over to the actual exercise and have a quick look in the help file. So we'll take Go test and we'll run it just to see where we're at. And as expected, all the tests are failing. Be quite surprised if they were passing, seeing as though we haven't implemented anything. So what we can see is that we need to implement needs license. So depending on the type of vehicle we've got, we need to know if you need a license. And you can see in the comment above, if it's a car or a truck, then you do. So it's a pretty straightforward if statement. But because it's Go, I don't actually know if OR is the same as in JavaScript where it's like a double pipe, or if it's a single pipe. I have a feeling that because it's Go, it might actually be a single pipe. We'll try a single pipe for now. So car or try. Oh, we almost had the triple equals there for JavaScript. Car or truck, return true, else return false. You can see syntax is not liking it, so it looks like it is a double. We'll run the test again, and you can see now we're down to choose vehicle. I'm not that familiar with the Go test runner. I don't know why it doesn't tell me that some of them are passing. For me, I think that would be useful, but no. So that, because it knows it's expecting a bool back, it won't even let me run it without returning a bool. So type checking is doing its job. Right, so now we have to implement the choose vehicles function. It's, how does it know which one's the best? Evaluate your options, narrow it down, takes to returns a decision that includes the option that comes first in lexicographical order. You might have to look this up. Lexicographical order. Word order given the underlying symbols. Okay, so if I'm thinking correctly, A, B, C would be like higher than C, D, E. I think that's how it works. So now, what is a way to implement that? Not too sure. So we've hit our first stumbling block on exercism. Good to see. Good to see. Love to see it. Love to see it. Perfect when video doesn't go. When video do what video want. We've got this answer on Stack Overflow. This guy says that in Go, strings are always ordered lexicographically. So we've got, we don't do console log because we're not in JavaScript. We do print line, option 1. And I just want to be able to see it in the console when we run it, so we'll just write what it is before it as well. Let's run that. And where is it? Search. Okay, there. So we can see what values we're getting in the test. You get your Veyron and Ford Pinto. We have our hunch on how this is going to work. So let's put it in. If I keep putting in the brackets because that's what I'm used to on JavaScript, but we don't need it. Curly braces we still need. So if option 1's bigger than option 2, return option 1. Else return option 2. So let's try that. Again, the output is not, I'm not too used to it, so I found it hard to read, but it's wrong. I've got it wrong. So you can see in the first one it says Ford Pinto, one Bugatti Veyron. It's clearly a better choice. So I think it's just reversed, actually. So let's try that and run it again. Bugatti Veyron, 1 Bugatti Veyron, Cherokee Q, Ford Focus. The answer seems to be correct now. So why is it failing? It needs to be a whole sentence. Did not read instructions properly and now pay the piper. So let's just quickly add that onto the end. It's not the driest programming, but we'll just test it. Yeah. So that's now working. It's moved on to the next function. So we could probably clean it up a little bit. I would possibly use a ternary conditional here in JavaScript, but I'm not too sure if that exists in Go, and I don't want to step out of my lane seeing as I'm in like the first lessons. So we'll store the actual vehicle we've chosen. In a variable, and then we'll return that variable concatenated with the string, and then we won't have to have that string more than once in the code. Apologies for this, I'm jumping all over the place. Chosen vehicle. It's also hard to name variables when you're trying to do a video, so please do not judge harshly. And yeah, we're still good with that. Right, so the next challenge, calculate price. Let's try and read the instructions this time. Now that you've made a decision, you want to make sure I get a fair price, blah blah blah. For a rust estimate, assume if the vehicle is less than 3 years old, it costs 80% of the original price. If it is at least 10 years old, it costs 50%, and if the vehicle is at least 3 years, it's got 70. So we're going to need to store the discount percentage. Again, probably could name that better. That'll be a number. It's just, I've forgotten the numbers already. You know what? Let's just copy this paragraph and put it into our code so that we don't keep forgetting. There we go. So start our third if statement. If the age is 3 years old, the discount is 80%. Actually, we probably want that to be a float. So let's make that float 64, 1.8 to be 80%. Very nice. So the next one is 10 years old. Discount percentage is 0.5, so it's lost 50%. And if it is under 10 years, discount percentage is 70%. Actually, that is supposed to be greater than or equal to 10. Yeah, and then the other one is less than 10. Yeah, that makes more sense. And then we're going to return the original price times by our discount percentage. And that should be it. The tests are not happy. Not happy chappies. No problem. What is the problem? Okay, so we want 3,200, but we're only paying 28 right now. It's probably because it's actually less than 3 years old, not only when it's 3 years old. There we go. Test passing. Okay. Let's get rid of our instructions, tidy it up. This is where we're going to submit to Exercism. Submitted successfully. And we go back to the page, give it a refresh, and you can see exercise solved. And we can mark it as complete. Here's where you can share it. I usually do. Got nothing to hide. And you can go back to the track, repeat, whatever you want to do. And that's Exercism. That's it. Exercise the demons. What would I say? In summary, pretty good. It doesn't hold your hand as much as some of my previous platforms I've used. I remember Team Treehouse was like the first one I ever tried, and it was really good, but that was a long time ago. I'm assuming it's better now. This one is a bit more, it's on your own back to like dive on and start reading and researching. And yeah, I think it's probably going to lead to me knowing how to use Go. There's so many influencer developers these days who are like talking about how you're not a real developer if you don't know like more than one language. And so that's kind of rubbed off on me a bit, to be honest. That's part of why I'm trying to learn Go. Exercism. Like and subscribe.